Do we have any concerns? Anything that needs to be lifted up? We'll save joys for a little later then. Okay, if you bow your heads. Father, today we particularly give you thanks for our marshals, our parade marshals, and all the people like them in our community who are there to create community, to sustain people, to hold up the vulnerable, and to knit people together rather than dividing them. They are your gift to us, and we give you thanks for them. And we pray that we can be more like them, that we too can be community builders, stitchers together, people that bring people together. That's our prayer, because we too want to be part of your will for the wholeness and the fullness of all your creation. We pray all of that in your name. Amen. And now for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now our national anthem. Okay.
I don't think Richard Stanford got the word on this, but this is really good news. Taylor, come on up here. We have someone that's going to lead us in the national anthem. That means that we can, yes, sing along with him, but then he's also going to sing a little patriotic song after that as a solo. Taylor SMITH-BOTHUN is a member of the choir at Highland Park United Methodist Church. He happens to be a fellow tenor. He is really a talented singer. He sings at Globe Life Field a lot, doing the national anthems, kicking off those Ranger games. Yes, our world champion Rangers. He's also recently been appointed as the associate principal at Coppell High School, a mere 3,000 kids that he'll be in charge of next year. But anyway, Taylor.
Thank you, Lee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. Please be seated. Small technical problem, but we'll make it work. Education, we're flexible. As you feel led, when we get to the chorus, feel free to join along. as the storm clouds gather far across the sea. Let us pledge allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we lift our voices in this solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Feel free to join in. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. America, God bless America.
Thank you, Taylor. That's awesome. Thank you. That is great. Yes, we will have an encore here soon. Yeah. Thank you, Taylor. And now it's the part of our program, which is always fun. Richard Stanford, come up here, and we'll request for happy bucks. Someone's got to be happy about something. So if you have a happy buck you want to declare, please let Richard know. Here we go. Yep.
I'm so happy it's sunny. I can't tell you how happy I am that it's sunny. And State Farm turned 102 today, so I'm celebrating Founders Day, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm celebrating a clean bill of health post-surgery, so there was no cancer. So thank you guys for praying for me.
Any others? Trisha?
Okay, Trisha.
Oh.
Well, I'm celebrating I'm a Gigi now. So I have my first grandchild, 3 weeks old today. Her name is Estelle Ruth Hood. So that's definitely something to be happy about.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hey, Richard. Oh.
Well, I'm here to celebrate and thank Jill Jordan and Tammy Kauser and Alan Wynn for pulling together today's wonderful activities. And way back to Philip Bankhead for thinking of this great idea.
Woohoo! Cleve.
Well, as always, I'm chasing Trish because our first grandbaby was born Memorial Day, a couple of Mondays ago. So Charlotte and Adam Richter and Harris David Richter are now part of the clan, and they already know about it. So there you go.
Thank you, Cleve.
Yes.
Laurie already knew about it, but so she's the only one I think besides maybe Philip that was aware that that was going on. So, well, we're just a little bit proud, not much.
Right.
Congrats. Any others? Over here. You got 2 or 3.
These are my excuses for not being here in a while. My son graduated with distinction from the University of Nebraska, and he started his new job with Union Pacific Railroad. And I got promoted to VP of Legal at Marsh McLennan Agency, so I've been working long and hard hours. So I'm just happy to come up for some air and see you all today. Thanks.
Congrats.
I wanted to celebrate and thank all the countries and all the people who participated in D-Day yesterday, and specifically Colonel Earl Rudder, who led the Rangers up Point to Hawk, who was my president when I was at the Agricultural Mechanical College of Texas, known as Texas A&M today. And also one of my uncles who came through there in the U.S. Army, and 2 aunts who served in the U.S. Army Women's Corps who came in through 2 weeks later. Thank you.
That's great. Jim.
I'm happy that the bank I work for, WaFd Bank, we have a summer internship program for graduating seniors. And so I'm going to combine Happy Bucks with an introduction. I'm going to introduce Marcus and Ryan. Marcus will be attending SMU in the fall, and Ryan studying finance, and Ryan will be attending Texas State University in the fall studying marketing. But they are my guests today, and I'm happy to have them.
Thanks, Jim. Welcome. Any others? Okay, great. Obviously, we're here today to celebrate our Grand Marshal introduction, but nothing would be great for our parade without having the mayors of each respective cities, the University Park and Highland Park. So I'd like to make introductions of Tom Stewart, Mayor of UP, and the current Mayor of Highland Park, Will BEECHERL. Are they here? Okay. There you go. And now, Will, if you could come up to here and read the proclamation for our July 4th parade. Mayor BEECHERL. Is he here? Is he here? Oh. Will. Oh. Will, you're up.
All right, this is a joint proclamation from Tommy Stewart, Mayor of UP, as well as myself, Mayor of the Town of Highland Park, to Joel T. Williams III, Grand Marshal, Park City's 4th of July celebration 2024. Whereas the residents of Highland Park, University Park, and the Rotary Club of Park Cities are honoring Joel T. Williams III as Grand Marshal of the 2024 Park Cities 4th of July Parade. And whereas Joel T. Williams III, husband of Susan Kincaid and father of 3 daughters and 7 grandchildren, was born February 8, 1948, and resides in Highland Park, Texas. And whereas Mr. Williams has been a leader in the Dallas financial business community for over 50 years and is the founder of Bristol Investment Company, Inc. And whereas Joel Williams' affinity for improving the quality of life for children and families in our community has inspired his life of extensive community service, including founding Texas Stampede, Inc., as well as Passion for Children's, Inc., which supports Children's Medical Center of Dallas and Children's Medical Center Foundation, where he has been leading and volunteering for the past 14 years. And whereas Mr. Williams, over the past 40 years, has consistently shared his knowledge and skills with numerous community organizations, including Goodwill Industries, Circle 10 Boy Scouts, Center for Nonprofit Management, American Heart Association, SMU, Salesmanship Club of Dallas, Collier Center for Communication Disorders, State Fair of Texas, Dallas Assembly, Communities Foundation of Texas, Meadows Foundation, HBISD, Children's Medical Center. Did we forget one, Joel? And whereas Mr. Williams more than fulfilled his civic duty by faithfully serving the town of Highland Park for 26 years, including as Highland Park's distinguished mayor from 2012 to 2018, and I served under him on council when he was my mayor. And whereas Joe Williams' devotion to hard work and service has enhanced the lives of many, now therefore we are proud to honor Joe T. Williams III for his profound and lasting contribution to our community. Joe. We want him to come up here, don't we? Come on up, Joe.
You're fine. Are you finished, Will? Well, he's going to present this to you. You got to come up here. Come over and get it. Here you go. Yeah, Joel, on behalf of the Rotary Club of the Park Cities, we're so honored to have you as our Grand Marshal, and this proclamation's been for you. Thank you.
Come swing around here for a photo.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Will, and of course, thank you, Joel. A few things. Alan Wynn, I'd have you come up and speak to our parade. So if you come up and make a few announcements.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this year's Grand Marshal Luncheon. My name is Alan Wynn. I'm co-chair of the parade this year as well as last year, along with my partner in crime, Jill Jordan. This is the 21st year that the Rotary Club of Park Cities has been putting on the parade in the Park Cities. This year's parade theme is Red, White, and You. Jill will be introducing the Grand Marshal a little later, but I want to take some time to introduce various members and or past Grand Marshals who have assisted in getting us to this 21st year. First, we'd like to thank Tammy Kauser for putting on this wonderful banquet we have here today. Second, we'd like to introduce some of the past Grand Marshals. And if you could, would you stand and come over and stand in front of the stage because one of our photographers wants to take a picture, okay? And it's Jan LANGBEIN. I'm not sure where she is. Is she here today? Okay. Jim and Laurie HITZELBERGER. Now, they were Grand Marshals during the COVID years, so they have sort of a 2-year period, 2022, 20 and 21 over here. And Sarah Ollier was the parade chair at that time. Brad Bradley was a past Grand Marshal, and he passed away unfortunately, and he's represented today by his son. Brad was the Grand Marshal during 2017 when Philip Bankhead was the parade chair. Next we have KIRK Dooley. KIRK, is your wife here? KIRK, is your wife here as well? Okay. And KIRK was Grand Marshal in 2013 when Paul Pyrock was the parade chair. And actually, KIRK and his wife ran the parade when individuals were running the parade, from about 1994 to 1998. Let's see, there is one other, let me see, Coach Allen. He came in, and he was the Grand Marshal in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that is everybody, if Kay Bailey is not here. Yep. Next, I'd like to represent some of the past parade chairs with us that are here today. Not everyone is here today, but I see quite a few. The first parade chair from 2004 to 2009 was past President Dr. Roy Washburn. The next years, the past President Cleve Clinton, who did 2 years from 2010 to 2011, and Cleve's over here. After that came the past President Paul Pyrock from 2012 to 2014. After that was Jim Mills, who did 2 years for 2015 to 2016, pardon me. Next after that was past President Philip Bankhead, who chaired it for 3 years, 2017, 2018, and 2021. And next is our president-elect at the time of the parade. She has done it for 3 years, 2019, 2020, and 2021. And then comes down to Jill Jordan and myself, who have done it for 2 years so far, Jill. 2023 to 2024. Next, there's a very important person who we can't thank enough for his efforts in putting on the parade, and that is Tom Rhodes. He tirelessly has worked over the years to pull together vendors and sponsors to basically fund the parade. His money is what puts the parade on, basically. Through his leadership and his team, which is this year Philip Bankhead and Van Oliver, they have raised quite a bit of money. We're not sure exactly the amount yet, but it's allowing us to put on the parade. Finally, I want to thank Karen Farris and her team, who have worked to generate donations to honor our community partner and this year's 2024 parade beneficiary, North Texas Food Bank. Please help me in recognizing these people.
Thank you, Alan. And now Karen Farris will come up and introduce our title sponsor.
Okay, I know everybody in this room knows what a great event the parade is, right? Okay, but did you also know that while we're having all this fun, we are also raising money to help our community? Our club, about 10 years ago, did a strategic plan, and one of our priorities is to address hunger in the community. And so at that time, we made the decision, let's have a beneficiary for our parade. And each year now, we reach out to corporations to become patrons, and we reach out to individual donors. So many of you in this room are individual donors, and thank you all, and individual donors within the community. 100% of their donation goes to the North Texas Food Bank, where every dollar pays for 3 meals. Think about that, people. That's, to me, amazing. So making all of this possible this year are our patrons, and I would like to introduce them at this time. Our 2024 title patron is the Agency Dallas, and we have Megan and Damon Williamson here, so please thank them. And I'm going to ask them to come up in a moment and just say a few words. Our Patriot patron, too many P's here, is Frost Bank, who's really been so involved for all these years. We have Clement George with us today. Can't thank you enough, Clement. Our Old Glory patrons, our ATMOS Energy. I saw Susan somewhere here. Susan, where are you? Oh, thank you so much for everything you always do. ONCOR is one, and normally Tiffany Richmond would be here, but she's probably out in the community getting our power restored. So give her a break. And then the Park Cities people. Pat Martin is not here, but is William Taylor here? I didn't see him come in. But so thank those people, please. Everybody give them a round of applause. And now I'm going to invite Megan up to maybe say a few words to us.
Hi guys, I wore my red, white, and blue in theme. This is my husband Damon Williamson. I just wanted to let you guys all know how special this is for us. I met Damon when I was 16. We've been together for 27 years, married 20 years. Our dream and what we've always done is run a real estate company. When we were in the suburbs and came from very humble beginnings, our dream was to come to the Park Cities and raise a family. That's what we did. We have 3 beautiful children that have gone through the HPISD school system. We have our oldest becoming a senior at HPISD, our youngest still at Bradfield Elementary. We grew up, our children grew up attending this 4th of July parade every year. And there's something so absolutely amazing about this community that has had a profound effect on us and our family. About a year and a half ago, we were able to level our company up and open a luxury real estate brokerage in University Park. And we have about 50 agents that service the entire area, family owned and operated. So one of the biggest goals for Damon and I was to give back to this community that has given us everything and our children everything. So they are super excited. My daughter's super excited to be able to be a part of the parade and be in it. And I just appreciate the opportunity. And we love everything that you guys do every year. So thank you.
I just wanted to say one thing. Brains and Beauty here, so she usually talks for us. But I would say that the agency Dallas that we launched about a year ago is family owned. It is not a corporate. It is all real estate that we are doing in-house by ourselves. I think that's important for today's market. We look forward to seeing you guys at the parade. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And a testament to all of those who've gone before on the parade. Megan called us and said, I've heard so much about the parade, I want to be a part of this. So thank you for everything. Clement, you're a longtime supporter of our parade. Did you want to say a few words?
Thank you all so much for having me. Again, my name is Clement George. I'm a commercial banker with Frost Bank and the Park Cities community leader for Frost. So I represent Frost for the Park Cities community. We have 2 branches here in the Park Cities, one over in Preston Center by Sevy's and one over by Cole & Son on Hillcrest. So as someone who grew up in the Park Cities and graduated from Highland Park High School and grew up going to the parade, it's such a thrill and an honor for Frost to be associated with the Rotary Club and supporting the parade and supporting the North Texas Food Bank. So what an honor for us to be involved for the last several years. Just kind of an update on Frost. I'm sure many of you are familiar with us, but those that are not, Frost is over 155 years old. We are a Texas bank. We are headquartered in San Antonio with an extensive branch network in all the major cities of Texas. We are currently kind of wrapping up a 3-year project. We're doing a big expansion in Dallas. We had 15 branch locations, and we are adding 29 new brick and mortar branch locations in Dallas alone. Q1 next year, we will be wrapping up, so we'll have 44 locations, which is kind of a contrarian view. A lot of banks are closing down brick and mortar locations as everything's kind of gone digital, and we like to be in the community. We like to have a branch that you can go and talk to your banker and visit. So we're really excited about that. We've been honored for the 14th year in a row to be ranked the #1 bank in the state of Texas for customer satisfaction by J.D. Powers. So we're really, really proud of that statistic. That's what our focus is every day. So again, thank you so much. We're really honored to be involved with the Rotary Club and the parade and the North Texas Food Bank. So again, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Clement. So everyone enjoy the 4th of July tradition and know that while you're doing this, you're also doing good in the community. And now I'd like to turn the program over to Susan Glenn, who is our relationship manager with the North Texas Food Bank.
Thank you, Karen, so much. Y'all, I can't believe 4th of July is like in 2 weeks. I'm like, what? Where did that come from? For those of you who don't know, the Rotary Club of Park Cities has been a long time community partner of the North Texas Food Bank. In fact, since 2015, we're almost a decade there, y'all. Next year it'll be a decade. The North Texas Food Bank has been the beneficiary of the 4th of July parade. This is a little off script, and I know Tricia doesn't like to have a lot of attention, but I really wanted to, before I introduce Tricia Cunningham, the CEO for North Texas Food Bank, I wanted to just acknowledge her a little bit. You know, leadership starts at the top of an organization, and great leaders lead by example, and I can tell you that Tricia Cunningham does exactly that. She is alongside of our Rotarians, and we have our volunteer packing day. Her and Greg, her husband, are out there packing food and for the children's, the school pantries and the community pantries. And we also know that teamwork makes the dream work, right? So Tricia, along with her partners, which are so critical, and their team of more than 200 employees, as well as 35,000 volunteers, amazing, really help her and her team and all of us to continue to fight this fight to eradicate hunger in our 13-county area. It's just amazing. So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Tricia Cunningham, CEO and President of the North Texas Food Bank and fellow Rotarian. Tricia.
Well, thank you so much. And you know what? Teamwork does make the dream work. You may have leadership, but if you don't have the right people on the team and they're not on the same bus and they're not going in the same direction, nothing's going to happen. So I just was actually speaking at another thing just earlier this morning, and I told them, I said, it takes all of us. It takes all of you in this room. It takes our elected officials. It takes our volunteers. It takes those that contribute to us. It takes our team and our staff. It takes all of us together to really be able to put a dent in this issue called food insecurity, which just means that you do not have enough access to food on a regular basis and to feed your families. Stephanie and I were talking just before this. She's doing a lot of the work in her classes with parents in some of the food pantries that actually give them food, but then she's helping to provide some of those additional surround services. So those partners in the community, we all have to work together to make sure that we can try to reduce the number of people that are hungry. And that's why I do what I do every day, and that's why I'm very proud to be a member of this Rotary Club, is because you care about that. So I'm going to talk some numbers here about Rotary, but before I get to that, I think all of you would believe me in saying that we do not want to be at the top of the list of the number of people that are food insecure. We like things that are bigger and better in Texas, but having the most people that are food insecure is not a badge of honor, and guess what? That's where we sit now. A couple of weeks ago, we released a study that was from Feeding America, where they do every year, called Map the Meal Gap, and for the very first time, Texas is at the top of the list of the number of people that are food insecure. The 13 counties that we serve in North Texas, right here, out of the 200 member food banks of Feeding America, is the 4th highest number of people that are food insecure out of the entire country. And Dallas County, where we sit as of counties, has the 6th highest number of food insecurity in the entire country. That's unacceptable. And we have to do something about it. And so we're continuing to try to work together. We're trying to collaborate. We're very strategically trying to address this issue of food insecurity. But I want to tell you what you all have done. Through this partnership with Rotary Club, we have provided access to over 1.7 million meals to our community. So for this parade alone, and my big thanks to those sponsors who are sponsoring the parade, because you're a big part of us being able to make sure that we can provide those meals, $49,000 in cash has been raised, but we know that Rotarians are very thrifty. Rotarians take advantage of every triple match that we have and everything that we have. So the value of those dollars is actually $170,000 in value because you've been able to take advantage of some of those additional matches. So, I mean, honestly, that's going to get us almost about 500,000 meals just for this parade. So we are extremely grateful for all of you. I can't wait to sweat alongside you at the 4th of July parade because we know that's what usually happens. If we don't have rain, it's going to be extremely hot, and but we're there and we love it. It's great exposure for not only this club, but for our issue of hunger in the community, and we are very grateful to be a partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Trisha. You're a great compliment to our club, and I'm so glad to hear the 1.7 million because last time I talked, it was like 1.56 or something, which is wonderful. Before I have Jill Jordan come up and introduce our new Grand Marshal, I'd like to thank again Damon and Clement and Megan so much for your sponsorship and the rest of our sponsors. So thank you very much. So Jill.
Thank you. So you all have already heard about many of Joel Williams' numerous accolades and all of his accomplishments. So I was given the task of introducing him, and I thought, what am I going to say that hasn't already been read in that resolution? So as many of you know, I have an affinity for cities. And so I went online to see what was up in the town of Highland Park. And I learned a couple of things about the former mayor that I'd like to share with you all. First of all, I didn't realize he was a lawyer. So he went to SMU, got an undergraduate degree, and then a law degree. So I was pretty surprised by that. So okay, that's cool. I knew he had done a lot of charity work, but I guess this is a big award year for him because the Family Gateway has just given him a big award, the Annette Strauss Service Award for 2024. On the Highland Park side, I noticed that he was responsible and oversaw the refurbishment of the town hall for Highland Park. And if you've been to that building, it's a great refurbishment that was done there. Then I saw that he updated the city's drought plan. Well, that's important, particularly if you're an engineer. We engineers think that's a good thing to do, so I was proud of the mayor for doing that. And he developed a 5-year capital improvement plan to make the city better in terms of infrastructure. And again, an engineer really likes that. The thing that I was most impressed with, however, that you all are probably going to go, what is she talking about? Under his leadership, the town of Highland Park was granted and awarded a Class 1 certification by ISO. And you're thinking, well, what is that? That's an organization that comes in and looks at your water system, your water infrastructure, and your fire department. And they rate how well you can respond to fires. And there are 10 categories. Number 1 category is the best in the country. And in 2017, Highland Park was given that Class 1 rating, which made it only one of 280 towns or cities in the whole United States with that rating. You're thinking, well, what's that big deal? Well, if you live in Highland Park, that means your homeowner insurance is cheaper than if you live in a city that has a higher classification. So I was really impressed with that, and to do all of those kinds of things, it takes a mayor with vision and with great leadership skills who can work with the staff to get things done. And so that's the man who we are honoring today. Now, to honor him, Jeff Brady, our very own MC extraordinaire, former news anchor, PIO extraordinaire, is going to be interviewing him. And so, gentlemen, if you will come on up, we'll let the program begin.
Where do you want us? Does it matter? Mayor, you want to sit here? Why don't you sit right in the center there? People want to see you, not me. Not much. Well, Jill has kind of stolen all our thunder. I mean, she said so much about you already. Is there anything else to cover?
Not really. Thank you very much. And,
and that'll conclude our
we can
interview here
adjourn
today.
it.
Thank you for joining us. No, we've got some questions, and from our astute table over here has given me a little bit of extra material, so that's we'll have to go with what they said. But people know you. You're a familiar face, but here's my first question. Mayor, can I call you Mayor? Okay. We are delighted to have you as Grand Marshal, so thank you for serving. It's a great honor to have you, and I think everyone will be delighted to see you in the parade. So that's fantastic. So here's a question. How do you describe the job of mayor to someone who's never held public office before?
Well, Jeff, before I take a stab at that, I want to first thank the Rotary Club. You know, you all have produced this parade, which is really the finest event in Park Cities every year. And I've attended that event about right around 50 years. I also love it because it is an opportunity for the town of Highland Park, the city of University Park, to work together in a collaborative manner with the Rotary Club to produce that event. I spent a little time in the world of special events myself. I understand what's involved in producing an event of that scale. The Rotary Club makes it look really easy. It is not really easy, I know that. And, you know, on behalf of 35,000 people that live in the Park Cities, I, for one, want to thank you for your service to this community and for your awarding your proceeds to the North Texas Food Bank, which is wonderful. But you are to be congratulated for what you do every day, particularly what you do on the 4th of July. Now, what'd you ask me,
Now,
Jeff?
you have cleverly avoided my question, so I'm going to get back to it.
That was intentional, Jeff.
Clearly. You know what you're doing. So for people who have never run for public office, who certainly who've never served as mayor, how do you describe that job? What is that job like, to be the focal point of the town of Highland Park?
Well, to begin with, I wouldn't describe the mayor as the focal point of anything. You know, you may feel that way one day after you're elected. 2 days after you're elected, you don't think that way at all. So you are just a volunteer. And UP, as you all know, UP and Highland Park work the same way. They have term limits to serve on the council. They have term limits to be mayor. If you're privileged enough to ask to run, you come in and do the very best job you can, serve out your term, and then get out of the way and let someone else step up. We are blessed in our communities to have a lot of wonderful souls and a lot of people that can contribute, and a lot of people that have an interest in their community. And that's really the only qualification. You have to have an interest, you have to have the time. If you want to be mayor, you have to have more time than you need if you want to be on the council. But it's just a super volunteer job, and I'm sitting among a whole lot of super volunteers today, so you understand what that means.
Sure. Well, thank you. How do you describe what would you say from your vantage point, because you do see things a little bit differently from City Hall? How would you describe the most unique thing about Highland Park? We don't want to stir up any rivalry here between University Park and Highland Park, but what is unique? What do you tell people about Highland Park from having that vantage point and serving it as a mayor?
Well, if I didn't have Tommy Stewart sitting right in front of me, the current mayor of University Park.
Right, be careful.
I want to recognize Tommy. Will's already been recognized, but I didn't know either one of them were going to be here today. But if I didn't have him, I might be a little more candid. But
you can tell me later.
What's unique about, it's a whole lot like University. I mean, I hate to say this. It's a whole lot like University Park. It's smaller. It is a primarily residential community. We have very little commercial business in Highland Park. The fact that it's primarily a residential community is both a blessing and a curse. You want to ask me? I'll get into a few of the curses, but
we'll get to that later.
Anyway.
Good.
What's next?
During your tenure, 6 years as mayor, right? What was the most unusual thing that happened during your term, either on city council or as mayor, when you look back?
Jeff said he sent these questions to me in advance. I never got them, so you're going to get
them. I was trying to help.
You're going to get an ad lib answer to just about everything. But I guess the most unusual, 2 weeks after I'd been sworn in as mayor, I was asked to declare a state of emergency. Will remembers this because Will was on the council. Asked to declare a state of emergency to allow aerial ground spraying for West Nile mosquitoes. Now, I have to tell you, before I became mayor, I know a lot about mosquitoes. I never heard about the West Nile mosquitoes. But I'd been on the job for 2 weeks, and I found myself in a room with all mayors in North Texas, with federal officials, state officials, county health officials. And I thought to myself, what in the world have I gotten myself into?
And what year was that?
2012.
12, okay.
You may or may not remember, but I know you remember about West Nile mosquitoes. We still have them around here, but there was a lot of controversy over aerial spraying. I first heard from the beekeepers because it's really bad on bees when you spray whatever toxic materials that we had to authorize the spraying for. I anticipated a few things. Prior to my service as mayor, I never thought about that, you know. And one of the most interesting, and maybe this is one of your questions, Jeff, but I'm going to add a little bit myself.
Sure.
One of the most interesting things about being mayor, and it's different than being on the council, you have an opportunity to learn a lot about a lot of different things, some of which you never had any interest in and never will have any more interest in. But you meet a lot of great people. You meet more of your residents than you already know. And you learn about West Nile mosquitoes. I learned a lot about Love Field. I learned a lot about dart. I learned a lot about drought. We had a drought. I think 2000, I don't know whether you're still on the council then, Will, 2013, 2014. Water conservation became a really big issue. Highland Park has some issues with the quantity of water that they use because it's, as I said, primarily a residential community. And but I loved the opportunity to learn about a lot of different things. I loved the opportunity to meet a whole lot of different people and work with those people. So. What's your next question?
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads into the next question. What act, when you look back on your time both as city council and as mayor, of what act or decision or project are you the most proud? What do you reflect back on and say, you know, that was really a milestone. I love that we did that.
I didn't have any milestones. I was glad. I was glad to serve 6 years and not screw it up. You know. I mean,
no scandal. No scandal. Right?
I need to use a different verb and. But that's kind of the way I felt, and we're blessed to have a wonderful community just like University Park. Has a great history, has a lot of great residents, and by the way, what makes the city and the town special? The people that live there. I mean, it's really not, it's not the mayor, it's not the council people. Now, the staff has a lot to do with it. We have wonderful staff, and they work very hard. And but the primary reason the communities are special are the people that live there. They keep you on your toes, don't they, Randy? And they offer a lot of advice if you get out of the fairway. And that's why it's special. People pay attention, and they love the opportunity to live in these communities.
And to offer advice. And they offer advice?
You know, there may be some bashful people that live in the town of Highland Park. I never met any.
Never met those.
You know? And you get a lot of advice, and I get a lot of advice at home too, by the way. But all the advice is well intended. You have to recognize that. You make a few people mad every once in a while. You have to develop a little bit of a thick skin. That's not fun. That's not a fun part of the job, but it's kind of part of the job. But
what about the? Wasn't there a renovation or reconstruction of City Hall during your time in office? Well, how did that go?
How deep you want me to answer that question, Will? You know, Will was on the council 4 years before I became mayor, and really, Will's council and his colleagues developed a plan for the renovation of Highland Park Town Hall, and it's a special building in our town. It's their decision was to renovate and not tear it down and start over and rebuild something that may be less expensive, maybe a little more commercial looking. But the decision that they made to renovate what was there, I think was a wonderful decision. But it was challenging, and but we had a great team. I was blessed with 5 wonderful people, including Will BEECHERL, on the council when I became mayor to kind of oversee that project. And we had a great staff, but I wouldn't recommend going through that sort of large scale, you know, for the town of Highland Park. Large-scale renovation when right across the street lives Margaret McDermott, and right next to Margaret McDermott lives Carl Sewell, and you know, all around Town Hall are residents that I know and fall in the not bashful category and want to make sure that contractors don't start before 7 a.m. and finish right at 4:30 p.m. and want to be able to back out of their driveway every day, which, by the way, is the #1 complaint that I think Tommy would verify this too. #1 complaint I got as mayor: I can't back out of my driveway. You know, I got contractors all over the place.
You heard that.
If you want me to shut up, Jeff, just tell me. Ask me another question.
Just keep going. That's great. So here's a related question. So is there anything, or what would you say, is there anything you wish you had done as mayor or on your term as city council that you didn't? Or do you have a regret of any kind when you look back on your time in office?
Well, honestly, I had all kind of regrets. You know, live and learn. And I wish I knew then what I know now. No one has that privilege. You have to kind of learn as you go. And fortunately, you're not learning by yourself. You got a lot of great colleagues on the council. You got a great staff. But really, if I had to pick one thing, and Will's not going to like me saying this, maybe Tommy doesn't either, but I wish I'd pay more attention to the destruction of historically significant homes in Highland Park. The town and the city are big believers in private property rights. I am too. And I don't believe that's ever going to change. However, the city and the town are very unusual in that they do very little to help encourage the preservation, not of every old home. Not every old home deserves to be preserved, by the way. I'm talking about those that are historically significant, because I have come to believe since my time on the council that our historically significant old homes are a wonderful touch point to our past. And really what makes the city and the town special that no one can copy, it's our history, it's our heritage. It's the people that live there, but it's our history. And those old homes are the best visible touchstones to a wonderful past. And I wish that that had been on my radar or the council's radar, but I can't look back. So,
and there are still quite a few. We have quite a few around town that are still here. So that's
we do. You know, we do, but we've lost a lot. I don't want to elaborate on this. It's kind of something I'm interested in right now, and I just wish it'd been on my radar when I was on the council or when I was mayor. But I have to confess, I didn't have a clue. I'm embarrassed about it, but I didn't. I didn't have a clue.
Well, now that you are where you are and the limelight has passed and you're off.
I wouldn't characterize it quite
center
that way.
stage.
Randy Allen's in the limelight. Joel Williams is not in the limelight.
What do you miss the most, if anything, about serving as mayor?
Oh, the people. I mean, you know, the people with whom I had an opportunity to work, the men and women on the council, to start with, my association with past mayors, my association with my friends at University Park, you know, mayors, people on the council there. I had an opportunity to work with them. I loved that. You know, why I like the job? I love working with people. I'm really an introvert, but I got an extroverted side to me that HITZELBERGER doesn't know about. But I love working with people, and I miss the chance to work with so many of my friends on trying to help ensure that the community that we call home remains special.
Sure. Okay, let's talk about the parade. How many years have you lived here now?
Well, you know, I think I'm the only mayor of Highland Park that didn't grow up in Highland Park, and I'm not a graduate of HPISD. I've had Susan and I have 3 daughters. They all went through HPISD. I've got 7 grandkids in HPISD right now. I feel pretty close to HPISD, but what were your questions?
It was a math question. Sorry about that.
It's a math question.
I said, how many years have you lived here? But the point is,
I've lived here 50 years,
50 plus years,
55 years, something like that.
That's plenty. You're a naturalized Park Cities guy. What's a favorite memory of yours of the parade?
Well, my favorite memory of the parade is having an opportunity to ride in it. You know, when I was on the council, I mean, the honest answer to the question, I mean, I've been the recipient of candy for years and years and years. I've been picking up candy for kids, for my kids' friends, for my grandkids, and for 12 years, 6 years I was on the council, 6 years as mayor, I got to throw candy. Some of the candy I pitched, some of it I threw at people I really didn't like.
Target
you know,
people.
so.
No, you didn't target people at all. No, I'm sure you didn't do that. I thought you were going to say the Rolling Elvises. The Rolling Elvises might be your favorite part.
Well, I like the unicycle riders. That's what I really, I mean, if you had to pick something that's really fun, that's one thing I'd always wanted to do. I would kill myself quickly on a unicycle, I'm sure, but I mean, I like that. But I love the fact it's a small town event, you know, and it's a community event. We don't have enough of those kind of things. We don't have enough opportunities to kind of get together and let your hair down and
see your neighbor.
Be a friend to your neighbor and fraternize with your neighbor and do fun things together. Now, it is a little hot, you know, that time of year, but it's a fantastic event that I don't take for granted.
Well, and similar question, what are you looking forward to most about this year's parade? Because you'll, I hate to tell you, but you're going to be in the limelight again. You're the guy.
I'm the guy. That would be the first in my life. That wasn't part of the deal.
Would your wife agree with that?
No, she wouldn't agree with any of this, by the way. But, you know, it's my last time to kind of be in the parade. As I said, I've had the opportunity to ride in a parade 12 times. This is going to be my 13th time. I guess that's unlucky for some, but lucky for me. And it's fun to be a part of something so special. And that's my answer.
Sure.
That's what I love.
And what is your last question now? You ready? You've made it through fine. So last question is, what advice do you have for anybody in the audience or beyond who's thinking about running for public office in the Park Cities or beyond? What would your advice be?
Is that the question Will asked you to ask me?
No. He didn't know. He had no idea.
What advice? Well, number one, I mean, it's off the top of my head. Be careful what you ask for. you got to love your community. You got to be willing to, you got to feel that the quality of the community is a responsibility of all of us, and you have to be willing to step up and do your part. You have to have the time. You have to have the time in your business. You have to have the time in your family. There are a lot of people that would be fantastic serving on the city council, serving as mayor, that just don't have the time. If you're privileged enough to have the time in your life, and you recognize that the specialness of our community is not accidental, and to keep it special requires intentionality, then get involved. You don't have to be mayor. I mean, there are lots of ways to get involved, and the community needs people that serve on, that do all kinds of things, including producing the Park Cities Parade. I know I'm talking to people that produce the parade, but I consider the parade such an important part of our community because it really represents, to me, the best part of our community. It represents the neighbors. So if you don't like that stuff, don't do it. And if you do, just get involved, wait your turn, participate, learn, and if you're privileged enough to have an opportunity to serve, say yes, and step out in the ring.
Well, we're glad you did. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Grand Marshal, Mayor Joel Williams. Let's give him a big hand. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Appreciate your time. You bet. All right, and I'll turn it over to our president, Jeff Sheehan. Jeff?
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Joel. And we appreciate your time as the mayor, and love your insight to being the mayor. And who here wants to run? Anybody? I mean, Jeff, you'd be a good mayor. Oh, that's your Park City, your University Park, your UP. Well, there you go. So, real quick, I'd like to have Greg come up and we'll talk about the foundation.
Thank you, President Jeff. I think I'll operate in this space right here. We have some special recognition to give to Mr. Williams this afternoon from Rotary International. And to make the presentation and recognition most meaningful, we need a brief introduction to explain Rotary. What is it? What's some of the things it's accomplished? And like any worthy organization, it has a mission statement. What is it? Rotary mission is to provide service to others, promote integrity and advance world understanding, goodwill and peace through the fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. There are over 46,000 member clubs worldwide with a membership of over 1.4 million individuals. The first Rotary Club was formed in Chicago by Paul Harris in downtown Chicago on February 23rd, 1905. Rotary is supported solely by voluntary contributions. Its foundation was created in 1917 as an endowment fund for Rotary to do good in the world. It has grown from an initial contribution of $26 to more than $1 billion. One of Rotary's 7 areas of focus is Rotary's goal to eradicate polio. Rotary is a founding partner of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, reducing polio cases by 99% since our first project to vaccinate children in the Philippines in 1979. Rotary members have contributed more than $2.1 billion and countless volunteer hours to protect nearly 3 billion children in 112 countries from this paralyzing disease. As John Germ, former international president, expressed it, the Rotary Foundation combines our emotional response of compassion and with pragmatic action, and from there, we are changing the world. And so now, coming full circle, the highest form of recognition a Rotary Club can bestow is the Paul Harris Fellow. It is presented to a Rotarian or a member of the community who has made an outstanding contribution to the community Today, we have the honor of recognizing the Honorable Joel Williams III as a Paul Harris Fellow. Come on out. We have a bona fide certificate from Chicago of Rotary International, signed by the President of Rotary, Gordon McNilly, and the Rotary Foundation Trustee Chair, Barry Rassin. This is yours, along with the Paul Harris Fellow pin that you can wear on your lapel. How about that? Congrats.
I'm very humbled. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Greg. And again, yeah, obviously our foundation, which drives all that we do here, and truly that's what's so great about our club and our worldwide is that we have the resources we can do this, and again, we truly appreciate everyone's contribution to the foundation. A couple announcements real quick. Don't forget to support the NTFB. We have the QR code, and that's our title beneficiary for the parade is the North Texas Food Bank and TRISHA, all the work you do, which is great. Don't forget your dues are due. I think Mark Cash will be after you, I promise you. If you they're past due now if you haven't paid yet. And so next Friday, Legacy of Leadership, Philip Bankhead will be our chair of the day. And then finally, on the 28th, we're having our installation banquet at Ozono. So you'll be pushing me out to pasture and bringing in Nolan Duck as your new president. But I appreciate it. And Tammy Kauser, you're going to do our four-way test.
Thanks, everyone. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Hit that bell.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you.
Nice.
Oh, we had more.